Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. I got an article here from the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum where Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, spoke and he had his chance to answer some questions and also say his side of the story. This is an article coming from Ukrainska Pravda, so it comes from obviously Ukrainian side. So beware of certain words or interpretations of Putin's quote that I'm going to use probably here, right? So this article, its title is Putin again justifies the war with Ukraine and insists he will, and I'm quoting, complete all objectives, end quote. All right. Source. The source is from Putin at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, and this is the quote. All the objectives of the special military operation will undoubtedly be completed. Um, the modern war, the modern world is going through a period of fundamental changes. International institutions are breaking down and malfunctioning. Security guarantees are losing their value. This is what I'm quoting. The West fundamentally refused to fulfill its earlier obligations. It was absolutely impossible to agree on any new obligations. In the current situation, given the ever-increasing risks and threats, Russia was compelled to conduct a special military operation. It was a tough but necessary decision. So in the current situation, given the ever increasing risks and threats, Russia was compelled to conduct a special military operation. It was a tough but necessary decision. So they had to because of this. Details. Let's see the details that these guys are going to give us. It's not the first time that Putin has justified the attack on Ukraine with his desire to, and I'm quoting, defend the security, end quote, of Russia. And he claims that he had the right to do so. Well, I think I can hear, for instance, other countries that are crying about their security is threatened by certain moves. And I can go to Australia or even United States, and Australia with Solomon Islands, and United States with the new guys that allowed to have in Central American country were now allowed Russian troops to come over starting July and bring military infrastructure over there, right? Okay, so we go here that he insists that his decision is aimed at protecting the citizens of the Russian Federation and residents of the republics of Donbass who have been enduring the genocide of the Kiev regime and neo-Nazis for 8 years with the approval of the West, end quote. Putin assured his fellow citizens and the Taliban who attended the forum, woo, thank you, United States, for allowing them to come back to power. You're welcome. That the West allegedly wanted to implement an anti-Russia scenario in Ukraine and has been conductive active militarization of Ukrainian territory. The president of Russia, where almost 15% of the population lives below the poverty line. Oh, is that better than the United States? Claimed that the US and the West couldn't care less about the economic development and the well-being of people in Ukraine. However, and I'm quoting, however, they've always been ready to spend any amount of money to create a NATO bridgehead in the east of Ukraine, and they still keep spending. Yes, um, in Nicaragua, the president agreed to have, among others, Russian up to about 269 or something troops as they for special operations, not this kind probably, from emergencies and including having military installations. And the United States was crying that that's a security concern and this and that, the same as Australia with the Solomon Islands when China did the same thing free sovereign countries signed up some agreements that they allow Chinese military to stop by and help a little bit with Solomon Island. Remember, Solomon Islands are about 2,000 kilometers, 1,200 miles away from Australia, and those guys were crying. Now, Nicaragua is in straight line about 500 miles from the tip of Florida. 500 miles, and those guys were crying. Now, Ukraine has borders, shares the same border with Russia. And if you really want to go deeper than that, and I want to go deeper than that because I like going deep, or deeper, remember Romania and Poland. They already have missiles over there, defensive systems, defending Europe from Iran. That's what they said. And there's a very funny video wherein Putin is asked a question by, I think it was a French I don't know, interviewer, and he said, well, what about those you are upset with, and those are against Iran, the rockets ready in Romania and Poland. And Putin starts laughing and said, you make me go to bed in a good mood. You really think that's what it is? It's like Europe. Anyway, so I posted a video regarding that, and you can still find that online on YouTube, how Putin laughs in the face of this really undercover guy. Nevertheless, in this situation, Putin said that he's gonna achieve all the special operations goals. Well, there are four that they stated, and one is make sure that Donbass, Luhansk, Donbass, and all those areas are secure. And if they had a referendum to join Russia, good for them, whatever. It's the self-determination, people's right of self-determination, right? I think it's Article 151 in the United Nations Charter. And then that's one. The other one is Crimea. These things should be, these are the foundation, is the foundation of the 4 points. First one, as I said, is Donbass, Luhansk, and Crimea to be recognized or to be by the Ukrainians that these are theirs, Russia's. The second one was demilitarization and denazification. NATO, not, and as I said, neutral. The easy 4 ones: demilitarization, no NATO, and denazification. So neutral status for Ukraine. That's NATO, no NATO. Well, we'll see what's going on. I don't know how he's going to achieve the other 3 though. He's going to just hit Ukrainian army over and over until he destroys it. The other guys are going to pour weapons, and they can't win against that. That's unwinnable goal. I don't know, unless you come, and to negotiate. How can you make these guys negotiate? Because they say we're not. Then Russia says we're not going to go. I never heard them say that. It doesn't mean that they can't change that now. They're having no intention of conquering Ukraine, even though the guys here in the West keep saying that it's gonna go and they're gonna do that, their goal, and they try to conquer and destroy Kiev, but they couldn't, and all these things. All right, that's for kids. We don't talk about those. Sometimes we mention them to make a point, but the Russians do not intend to take over Ukraine, like conquer it, against these claims that are just below 86 IQ claims. But so then how are you going to do that? Those guys going to keep pouring weapons. This guy's going to fight. You're going to fight, and then you get the border where you want it. What are you going to do next? Create a buffer zone? That means you have to go a little bit further, right, into Ukraine, because those guys are not going to negotiate. Or you hope that the Westerns are going to be freezing, and they're going to ask for peace, and they want to push their boy Zelensky. They were going to tell him it's time to go and agree to all these things. That's the only way. If the West freezes and goes economically down, and the population says something, not the politicians, they can go. They have the money. They don't have no problem. They can go forever. But I'm talking about us. If the population does something, and then voices opinion and blah blah blah, we don't want this and we don't like that, then possibly could these guys tell Zelensky, okay, let's talk about things. Otherwise, it's going to be forever war. So, well, we'll see. Thank you very much. Maybe it might be. It depends. And if it escalates, then one drop of a bomb will put everybody on a standby and get their attention. Okay, I'm running out of conventional weapons. I'm going to use one, and I'm going to use more. This is just, for instance, a warning. I'm going to detonate it in a crop field somewhere, so no casualties, let's say, and then if you can, it's casualties after and so on. But nevertheless, do this, and then next time it's going to be back off. That's the only way they can't lose. They're going to use that, say, okay, what now? We are in this position. We don't have any more conventional weapons, and we're not going to lose, and we're not going to give up anything that we already got. What are you going to do? You got to come to a solution. Otherwise, it's not you're criminals, you're this and whatever. Time got to that point. No turning back then. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.